I'd like to welcome you all to the 2012 Water Summit. We represent the Texas Academy of Medicine, Engineering, and Science of Texas sponsoring this program. We'll be telling you a little bit more about our organization in a moment. I'm Bill Brinkley, and I'm the president of TAMEST this year. And the summit, as we're having here, is one of several that we have sponsored every year since TAMEST began to deal with some of the critical issues facing Texas. TAMEST is an organization of over 250 members, all of whom have been elected to one of the three academies, the National Academy of Science, the Institute of Medicine, and the National Academy of Engineering. And the 10 Nobel laureates in Texas are members of this organization. But we're here to learn as well and to help focus attention onto some of the major issues. We had a mid-year conference on K-12 science and education in Texas, and that report of that, by the way, is on our website. If you'd like to read it, it's a very important report, I believe. I was chairman of it, so I know it's important. No, it was dealing with an issue that we're all very concerned with, and we've only made a dent in that. But we've also had a previous conference on energy in Texas and transportation, some of the issues facing us as a state in this area, which of course are important. The organization of the Academy, and we call it TAMEST for abbreviation, such a long name. TAMEST is an organization that's the brainchild of Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison. A few years ago, she called a number of us to Washington, a number of Texans, primarily presidents and deans of the universities around the state, and said, we have a tremendous resource in our state of distinguished members who've been elected to the Academy. Originally, the National Academy of Science was designed to help deal with some of the major issues of America and our nation, all the way back to Abraham Lincoln's time, and they led to the formation of things like the National Institutes of Health, National Science Foundation, and many other important things. So the Academy members in Texas had not been used, so she felt that we could begin to do something for our state. And we were very pleased with our limited progress. We started in 2004, I think, and we're a fairly new organization. So Senator Hutchison usually comes to the meetings. Couldn't make this one, but she has kindly provided a video to welcome you today, and I'd like to see that now if it's available.
Hello, I'm Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you to TAMEST's annual mid-year conference. When we first envisioned TAMEST nearly a decade ago, we set a goal to establish Texas as a world leader in technology, medicine, engineering, and science. Through the collaboration fostered by TAMEST, our state's best minds are working to address some of the greatest challenges facing our country, including the challenge of meeting the growing demand for a reliable supply of water. This year's Texas Water Summit is an important part of the collaborative process established by TAMEST. Thanks to your hard work, Texas is emerging as a global leader in water conservation and desalination research. The El Paso Water Utilities desalination plant is a great example of collaborative effort. More than a decade ago, it was clear that an underground aquifer, which is the main water source for El Paso and Fort Bliss, was being depleted faster than it was being replenished. With the help of many stakeholders at the local, state, and national level in government as well as private industry and academia, we broke ground on the plant in 2003. Today, It is the world's largest inland desalination plant. This forward-looking strategy in water supply is critical for economic growth and quality of life, not only for a region, but also for a world facing the challenge of diminishing supplies of fresh water. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the great work being done at the Center for Research in Water Resources, located right here at UT's J.J. Pickle Research Campus. The center carries out advanced research, education, and planning in water resources, while working with other agencies and institutions in Texas to solve complex water problems. These are just two examples of so many across Texas. I trust the progress being made in water research during the next couple of days will spur further collaboration among Texas' leading minds and institutions to solve the water challenges of our state and nation.
There you are. You have to love her even if you're a Democrat. She is fantastic. She has made this organization to become unique in Texas. And there's no other state in the nation that has a TAMEST, or an organization like this. And we're so pleased that all of you have come today, experts in this area, to be with us. And we hope that you enjoy the meeting. Our meeting was planned by Dr. Danny Rabel. Dr. Rabel is the Betty Margaret Smith Chair of Environmental Health Engineering in the Department of Civil, Architectural, and Environmental Engineering at the University of Texas at Austin. By the way, we're grateful to the University of Texas at Austin and the University of Texas system for sponsoring this meeting, and a lot of other sponsors that you'll see in your program. We're grateful for that support. So Dr. Rabel, please come forward and let's get started.
Well, certainly there is an important group of individuals that helped plan this, certainly not my own, and you'll meet a number of them that'll help throughout the day, and we'll introduce them as we go forward. Before I begin, let me mention a little bit of the logistics about the room, because there is only the single, or the exits on each side. We've left that last row open so that people can migrate along the back and not feel like they're interrupting by coming down to the front. So if you need to leave the room, I'd suggest you go around to the back of the hall. Well, our goal today, and it was really framed quite well by Representative Mark Strama last night, is to understand better how to secure Texas's future with respect to water. How do we understand, or help us understand, the availability of water? What are our needs to meet the economic goals that we have for the state? And then how we might be able to meet those. We'll be spending a lot of the afternoon discussing how we might meet those. What are the technologies? How can we implement things to actually meet that gap between our availability and needs? But in the morning, we're going to be trying to assess what is our availability, what's the uncertainty in our water supply, and again, what are our needs that we need to meet? Try to define what that gap might be. We face an unprecedented challenge of a near doubling of population over the next 50 years, and I think our goal could be stated quite succinctly to try to implement conservation and reuse procedures, technologies, to essentially keep metropolitan and residential use flat. If we could do that as we face a doubling in population, I think we will have succeeded a great deal. Unfortunately, that won't solve the problem, as we saw last year, that if we only keep our demand flat, that means that we may not have the water that we need to meet our economic goals. We may not have the water to satisfy the various sectors that will be developing over time. And as a result, we will continue to have a lot of pressure placed upon our water availability. And so we're going to have to go beyond keeping our residential use flat. And so we're going to try to start the conversation today in that direction. We can't finish it, but my hope is that through the people that we've assembled to discuss these issues, that we will at least be able to start the conversation, and hopefully we will build upon this to move towards a situation where Texas is better planning its water future.